Oops, let me just. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory Srila Prabhupada. I hope you all are well. Welcome you all to His Only Chandramauli Maharaja's daily call. I'm just checking that if I need to.
I started the line, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, because I'm not getting option. Thank you. So today's verse is Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, chapter number 8 and verse number 8 as well. So Maharaj, if you're ready, should I start sharing the screen? Yeah. Thank you. Just give me let me increase the font and I'll go on mute. Sorry.
Can you hear me? Yes,
Yes, Maharaj, we can hear you. Thank you.
It's clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay.
Yes.
Obeisances to all of the Vaishnavas. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Asidyad Udarat Padmam Lokasamstana Lakshanam Yavanayam Vai Purusha Eyatat Va Yavai Pritak Tavam Asa Viti Prokta Samstavaya Vavan Iva. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whose abdomen the lotus stem sprouted, is possessed of a gigantic body according to his own caliber and measurement, then what is the specific difference between the body of the Lord and those of common living entities? Purport. Hare Krishna. One should know how Maharaj Pariksit intelligently puts questions before his spiritual master for scientific understanding of the transcendental body of the Lord. It has been described in many places before this that the Lord assumed a gigantic body like that of Karanodakayasa Vishnu, whose hair pores innumerable universes have generated. The body of Garbhodakaya Vishnu is described as sprouting the lotus stem within which all the planets of the universe remain, and at the top of the stem is the lotus flower of which Lord Brahma is born. In the creation of the material world, the Supreme Lord undoubtedly assumes a gigantic body. The living entities also get bodies, big or small, according to necessity. For example, an elephant gets a gigantic body according to its needs, and so also an ant gets its body according to its needs. Similarly, the personality of God assumes a gigantic body to accommodate the universes or the planets of a particular universe. There is no difference in the principle of assuming or accepting a particular body in terms of necessity. A living being and a Lord cannot be distinguished simply by the difference in the magnitude of the body. So the answer depends on specific significance of the body of the Lord, as distinguished from the body of the common living being. Om Gyan Timiram Dasya Gyana Jana Salakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapti tam yena bhutale swayam rupa kadam mayam dadati swam padantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasnaya Bhutale Srimakte Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya Sutarine Vanshikopa Tarubhischa Vipa Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaur Bhaktarindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Karma Daiva Trina. This statement is mentioned in the 7th canto. How the living entities receive a body. According to Shastra, which is immeasurable by the conditioned living entities, there are 8,400,000 different bodies within 5 categories. Bodies within the water, aquatics, bodies within the air, the birds, bodies within land, you have trees, you have insects, you have plants, bodies that are a little bit more advanced, 4-legged mostly, and bodies that are animals. And then you have the human species, which is the smallest of all of the numbers, which is 400,000. Prabhupada challenges the scientists and other thinkers to try to count the number of bodies. You can't do that. Even if you could count all of the ones in this universe, this comprises all the universes, not just this universe. That means innumerable universes make up a sum total of 400,000 species of life. And some of those species you'll never see on this planet, nor will they ever come on this planet. So we simply accept Shastra as the authority because Shastra is a Parushad. It's not man-made, it's man-made by God, and it's delivered to the great souls who are pure in devotion, and they present the knowledge as received from the Lord himself. So the process is according to one's desire. The desire is not something dormant. If you desire something, you're actually activating your activities, which will manifest in due course of time. And that desire leads to thinking, feeling, willing, and all of the expressions that come by way of activity, such as walking, talking, etc., etc. So then bodies are determined by these 2 categories, desire and activity. And based on desire and activity, you get a result based on the nature of the activity. So activities are in different categories, and you get a qualitative response in the form of a result from everything you do. We call it karma, or action and reaction, because every action is pushing onto the material energy, and the material energy is giving the reaction according to the quality of the activity. So everyone has a body, and no two bodies are the same, even within the categories. Everyone, we might say, has a human body, at least on that category, but every human body is different. Structurally the same in essence, but not exactly. There's different sizes, different shapes, different facial expressions. There's so many differences within the body. What is the cause of all of the differences? Desire and activity, which manifests according to karma. So the body you have now is your own registration. This is what you have desired to have. You can't complain, I don't like my body, because you worked to get this particular body. You may not be aware of the fact that you did, but this is the actual understanding based on that. And then that propels you in a certain direction according to the desires which brought about the body, and then desire remains and pushes us to use the body in different ways, to use the mind in different ways. The mind, the intelligence, and the false ego is part of the subtle body, but it's still a body. It's not spiritual. The mind is not spiritual. Intelligence is not spiritual. False ego is not spiritual. You can spiritualize it, but in essence, it is part of the material world. You spiritualize it by engaging it in devotional service, and then it takes on the quality of spirit. But we receive the body from our parents, but not the subtle body. The subtle body carries the soul from life after life to different species, different levels of existence. The scriptures explain Karanam Guna Sangosyo Sadasa Jonya Janmasu. There are 14 planetary systems divided into 3 categories, upper, middle, and lower. And those 14 planetary systems, one can traverse in any of them based on the karma. Karma not necessarily relegates you to a certain level, depending on the nature of the karma. If you're very, very sinful, you might not even get a human body. You might get a body lower, or you might get a body in a very, very decrepit and very despicable state of existence, or you might get a body in a very low level within the planetary systems where the bodies are by nature very gruesome and horrible and ferocious. Or you might get a body like a demigod who is very beautiful by material standards, which can fly through the air. Siddhas can do that. They can actually fly from one planet to another, just like birds, without any effort, simply by their desire. Prabhupada also says, even us, the human beings who are not born with that quality, can develop that quality. You can also fly, but what is the benefit? All of the effort and time and energy it takes to fly, you can just purchase a ticket and buy an airplane ticket, or you can ride on a very nice transport and go from one place to another. So yeah, but the point is that we get all kinds of different bodies, and it's all due to our karma. Nectar of Devotion explains this in detail. According to your activities, if you were born very beautiful by material definition, that means you performed pious activities in the previous life. If you're born in a good family, pious family, a religious family, or even a very rich family means you perform pious activities in previous life. Or if you have good bodily strength, or if you have developed intelligence, or if you have the tendency to uh, position yourself in the material world in a very favorable, all of this is due to pious activities, karma. If you're born in a very low family in some jungle where there's hardly any food to eat, that means there was sinful activities in the previous lives. Or if your body is very, what we say, not very good looking, we use the word ugly, that's also a part of sinful activities in previous lives. Or if your body is, what is it? What was I going to say? Or if you're afflicted with a lot of legal difficulties in your life, you're always getting in trouble with the legal authorities. This is also due to your past bad karma. All this is mentioned in the Shastras, especially in Nectar Devotion, you'll find it. So nothing happens by accident. People cannot explain because they have no knowledge why there are different bodies in different situations. People have born with silver spoons and others can hardly even eat. So it's all due to activities which are motivated by desire. And desire is connected with three modes: the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. Depending on the connection with one of those modes, and each of them have characteristics. The mode of ignorance is intoxication, excessive sleep, a somewhat deranged mentality, always finding themselves in difficulties in life, getting in trouble, having conflicts, mode of ignorance. And there are other characteristics also. If you're connecting with the mode of passion, you may be very avaricious, desiring to get more and more material gain in different ways, through facilities, through money, through position, through power. Or if you're sexually inclined and you're motivated in that way, that's also the effects of the mode of passion. If you are, even if you're creative, that's also effects of the mode of passion also. In the mode of goodness, you're inclined to give in charity to others. You're inclined to do welfare work to help others. You are very religious. You worship the Lord. You have good intelligence for understanding knowledge. So none of this stuff, and then there's other qualities also. You're simple, you're humble, at least to some degree. These are all of the qualities of the mode of goodness. But all of these qualities are still within the jailhouse of the material energy. And they force you to take births again, and again, getting body after body after body. We look at our body now and we say, well, that's me. But go back in time, that body wasn't there, but you were. You were in a different body. And if you go back even farther, you've been in so many bodies, 8,400,000 species. We say that to get to the human form, the soul traverses through the lower levels until it reaches the higher level, and then it gets a human body. So it says that the living entity cannot achieve its existence in this material world. We've been in so many bodies, we can't even count them, but to speak about recalling them. And we develop attitudes, attachments, activities based on the body we have. The body motivates us in a certain way. If you like to have a lot of sex, you may in your next life get a body of a pigeon. As is explained by the Shastras, a pigeon can have sex 60 times in 1 hour, up to 60 times in 1 hour. If you like to sleep a lot, you might get a body of a bear, which can sleep for 6 months. If you, um, so if whatever your desire is, if it's a prominent desire, that will be the force that propels you into the quality or the kind of its next body. Of course, karma is so intricate, no one can explain how one gets a particular body. If you like to eat anything and everything without discrimination, you might get a body of a pig. The list goes on and on and on. If you like to unnecessarily cause trouble to others, you might get a body of a snake or a scorpion, something like that. Or you might be born in a demoniac species of life. So our activities are motivated by our desires. So life is based on desire. The quality of the desire manifests in forms of bodies and activities. So ultimately, we have to come to the point of developing spiritual desire. Spiritual desire will propel one to get activities on the spiritual level, which helps to create slowly within the consciousness of that living entity a spiritual body which will be manifest at the time of death. Just like now, we might not even be aware of it, but every moment you're creating your next body simply by your activities and your desires. But if you desire Krishna and you desire to worship Krishna, then you'll get a body which is conducive to that. It means you'll get a very good material body, or you may even enter into the realm of getting a pure spiritual body, and then you're outside of them. Then you can worship Krishna in pure devotion. So be careful how you desire, because even if you don't desire and you perform an activity that you don't desire, still the reaction will get you there. Of course, there's still a desire there, but it may not be, we may not be aware of it. So everything is based on desire. And we have to ask ourselves, what do we want in life? Do we want to become happy by material arrangements? Or do we want to actually free ourselves from the samsara of birth and death, life after life, and get a spiritual body, or reveal our own spiritual body? We don't have to get a spiritual body, because the soul also has a body which is pure spiritual, and that pure spiritual body is locked within this material body, and we are completely unaware of who we are, or what is our actual transcendental form, and what are the activities that we perform in that transcendental form. But it's right next to us, but it's gupta, it's hidden. It comes out as we chant the holy names, worship the Lord, follow the process of bhakti. You're starting to create, you might say not create, but to uncover your spiritual body. That's why when you accelerate your devotional service, become fully engaged in devotional service, you're moving quickly and you're developing your spiritual body or revealing your spiritual body fast. And then when death comes, it's explained that if you have developed your spiritual consciousness at the time of death, then just like a flash of lightning, which is immeasurable by time, it's even faster than a second, even much faster than a second, a flash of lightning. Then you leave this body and you're in your next body that fast. It's just like a flash of lightning. If you're sinful, according to the level of sins, then you have to go to Yamaraj, and then you have to pay for those sinful activities by suffering in different hells that are in the lower planetary systems. When you have duly suffered for your sinful activities, according to the level of sinful activities you have, you undergo so much suffering, and then you get a next body is given to you by material nature accordingly. There's a very scientific process of understanding the whole nature of life, but everything's based on desire. So we want to desire Krishna. But we might say, well, I have so many desires. I have mixed desires. I want this, I want that, I want devotional service. I want to be comfortable in material life. I want to be healthy, so I go to the gym. We have so many desires. So, but we have to streamline our desires and connect everything with Krishna. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yat karosi yaranasi, yat karosi yaranasi, yat dadosi tatapdadasi, yat tapasya tu konte, yat tat kurusham arpanam. All that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all the austerities you perform, Krishna says, do it for me. And that is the secret of bhakti. Connect everything with Krishna in devotion by learning the science and how to use everything in the service of the Lord. Because in actuality, in reality, everything belongs to Krishna. And the living entities in the material world are called secondary creators. We take what God has given us, earth, water, fire, air, ether, and we formulate it into computers, cars, houses, and various types of amenities that make up the paraphernalia of the material world. But they're all based on these five elements, basically four elements, basically three elements mostly: water, fire, and air. There's also air and some, not air, but water, fire, and earth. Everything is made out of these three elements. And then there's minerals. Everything is all scientifically presented, and learning the science of how to use everything in the service of the Lord without taking anything for yourself, you'll find that your whatever you need will automatically come when you connect everything to Krishna. Manaso deho geho, you'll get you more arpilu to apadai nandakishore, Bhakti Vinod Thakur praise. My wife, my home, my family, my possessions, my very body, it's yours. You gave it to me, so I'm using it in your service to get out of this material tabernacle and again rejoin you in the spiritual world. So the science of bhakti is nicely mentioned in the scriptures, particularly nectar devotion, nectar of instructions, Srimad Bhagavatam, all the scripture science of bhakti in it, but it is compressed and pretty much accentuated in certain scriptures, such as nectar of devotion, and also the process mentioned also in Jaiva Dharma by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Everything is there. So study these books, learn the science, hear from the spiritual teachers, and purify your desire, make your desire one with Krishna's desire. He wants you to come back to the spiritual world. Make your desire the same as Krishna's, and then gradually that desire will actually, what's the word? Actually, or what's the, I don't know, actualize, will actualize in due course of time. That is the process of bhakti. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So nicely you have explained the importance of desire in our life and how it can take us to the different body. And I really like the point what you mentioned that we are building our spiritual life now only. So till the time we die, we should have the spiritual body. That's what I really like that point. And I didn't know about that we can build that body now. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. If you can't speak, then you can type it in the chat and I'll read it for you. And it'll be nice to have your cameras on if you can, please. Yes, Shiv Kumar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, one question I had, Maharaj, on the desire. Srila Prabhupada explains in multiple places that the functions of the mind are thinking, feeling, and willing. I just wanted to understand the connection between the desire of the soul and then the willing of the mind, Maharaj, if you could just explain a few words on that. Hare Krishna.
If the soul identifies with the body, then it will desire in the material way. But if the soul is aware of its existence and connects with the spiritual energy, then it will desire in the spiritual way. So the activities that will be performed will be based on the quality of desire, whether connecting with the material body as the ultimate principle or the spiritual energy as the ultimate principle. So you have a choice. Prabhupada says you have a choice every minute. You can serve Maya or you can serve Krishna. If you're serving Maya, that means you're using your body, mind, and senses for material success or material activity. If you're desiring spiritually, then you're using your body, mind, and senses in the service of the Lord. That's simple. It's based on your desire. What do you want? Do you want Krishna or do you want Maya? But then again, the influence of karma is also there. So you have to overcome the tendency of desiring materially by connecting strongly with the spiritual activities. And that's done by associating with devotees and taking part in the process. Can't do it without associating with devotees, so that has to be there also. But the activity is the essence of the results. To learn how to desire right, we have mixed desires. We want Krishna and we want Maya. And that's our problem.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Shiv Kumar Prabhu. Shridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Satyabhama. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. As you were speaking about the change of bodies, the activities of this life, as well as previous lives, and how we are paying the price and so on, I was thinking, if I say, I really want to see Krishna, I really want to meet Krishna, I really want to connect completely and totally with my eternal Father, will people say that's crazy? You should not have such desires. You should desire only pure devotional service. And if Krishna wants you to see him, then he will arrange, but you should not have such desires. So is that some kind of illegal, illegitimate desire? And we should only desire pure devotional service?
That is pure devotional service. But in order to achieve that desire, you have to engage in pure devotional service. You can't fulfill that desire simply by praying like that. You have to come to the platform of pure devotional service.
I see.
Your prayer will motivate you to take up pure devotional service, but unless you actually come to the platform of pure devotional service, your prayer will not actualize. Because, yeah, you can't have that association with Krishna unless you're a pure devotee.
Mhm. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Devi Mataji. Very nice question. Amritana Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Guru Maharaj, you mentioned about some of the reactions we get due to our bad karmas, bad actions. And sometimes that happens in patterns as well. So if we recognize a particular pattern in our reactions, as you mentioned that it is mentioned in Bhakti, it is the nectar of devotion, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so is there any specific solution which we have to do for a particular pattern? Is it mentioned in that, or simply we have to follow the process?
What does this pattern indicate?
The reaction of the karmas?
Oh, you mean you're stuck in a particular action and reaction,
Yes.
a pattern of action and reaction?
Yes.
Yeah, then you have to get out of that pattern. It's material. You're talking about material, right?
Yes.
And then you have to get out. So, but if you don't change your activities, you'll stay within it. You have to change your activities and you'll get a different reaction. And to change your activities, you first have to change your desire. You're desiring a certain way, therefore you're acting in a certain way. Or you might say, I'm not desiring in this way, but I'm propelled in that direction. That means the influence of your karma, which is based on accumulation of desires, is pushing you to think and act in a certain pattern. So according to the strength of the influence of karma, you're being pushed into that pattern more or less. So you want to reverse that. So you have to create another type of activity in order to do that. And therefore you have to come to the desire of knowing how to manifest an activity which will get you out of that pattern, but not into another similar pattern. You don't change one material desire for another.
Mhm.
So how do you do that? It requires some effort. Just like we're forced, what causes a man to act against his will, even if he doesn't want? In other words, what causes a person to act? And lust only, Krishna says. When Arjuna asks that question in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he said, "It's lust and lust only, which comes in contact with the material mode of passion, later transformed into wrath, which is the all-devouring sinful activities in this material existence." So lust means material desire. That's what it basically means. It's not it's not relegated to a particular type of material desire. Just like you lust for money, lust for the opposite sex, lust for power. These are all indications of lust. Lust for position, lust for being glorified, all these things. People focus in a very forceful way on a particular desire that they want, and that's simply material lust. That's all it is. So Krishna says this enemy of lust, which is the enemy of the soul, is conquered by regulation of the senses and engagement in devotional service. So regulate the senses. You can't perform devotional service if you have no regulation in life, because the mind will take you wherever it wants based on there's no direction. A schedule or a regulated life clarifies what you should be doing at different times throughout the day, and that way you don't get sidetracked into doing things or saying things that are contrary to your best interests. Make a schedule. Prabhupada was highly organized. He said our movement is highly organized. But we have to do that, in other words, to make advancement. But at least you can organize the essential parts of your day. When you chant, when you eat, when you sleep, when you perform activities, all of this should be put into a organized pattern. And that pattern, when it's used to serve the Lord, then it's elevating. And it's not simply you're stuck in some action and reaction program.
So, Guru Maharaj, the organization of the sadhana or our daily routine of sadhana, is that what is the solution, or it
That's
can
the-
vary from
that's
case
the-
to case?
That's the foundation. You have to start there.
Right.
You want to build a house, you don't start with the windows and the roof. You first build the foundation of the house. And the stronger the foundation, the stronger the house will be. And the stronger the house will be, the better, the more it will stand the elements, wind, rain, and various climatic things. Like nowadays, they build houses that can withstand earthquakes too. But some other houses, when an earthquake comes, the whole thing is destroyed because the foundation is not so strong. Your foundation is your sadhana. Hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord and associating with devotees. That's the essence of sadhana.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj, for the foundation which I have to strictly set up, and the later
Yeah.
part I have to discuss with you. After that, only I can ask you something, I guess.
You should be very strict in that because you see, Raghunath Das Goswami, he was so strict that every day he would pay 1,000 obeisances to the devotees, 2,000 obeisances to the Lord. It says his vows of sadhana were like lines in rocks. That means if you put a line in a rock, it's not erasable. That's what it takes to practice Krishna conscious effectively. And if you just have a very erratic schedule, you're going to find it's very difficult to practice devotional service. Prabhupada was highly regulated. He was so regulated that wherever he traveled, if he changed time zones, wherever time zone he landed in, he came into, he would begin his schedule accordingly. We learn from the advanced devotees the importance of regulation. Regulate the mind, regulate the senses, regulate your life. There's allowances for change within the regulation, but there has to be a foundation. Otherwise, you will know what the difference between having to change or doing anything you want to do and whenever you want to do. Nowadays, people, they eat when they want, they sleep when they want, they have sex when they want, they do whatever they want when they want. Not everyone, but most people in the material world when it comes to bodily activities. The only thing that keeps them regulated is their work schedule. And even that is thrown to the wind now because they make their own schedules now. One devotee who was receiving devotees in college, and they wanted to join our movement and become participants in the temple. The devotee says, no, you finish your education first, because that helps you to, not only it helps you to develop a regulated life. If you're not trained in regulation, you're going to find Krishna consciousness is very difficult. And if you know how to use regulation and maximize it, you'll find things become easy, naturally, you get things done, and you can also increase your services easy. A person who's regulated can do more and more. A person who is unregulated can't do, they always have no time because there's no standard by which they act. They just do whatever they need to do at a certain time. So regulation is more or less, you can regulate yourself 100%, 90%, 80%. But the foundation and the success is your sadhana. Regulate that first. That has to be there. We use the example of a tree. What is the most important part of the tree is the root. If you pour water on the branches, on the trunks, on the leaves, the tree will not last. You pour water on the root. So the root is our sadhana. The root of life, the root of bhakti is sadhana. And there's no excuse. You can't say, well, I have this responsibility, I have that responsibility, therefore I can't do sadhana, or I'll do. No, you have to somehow find some organized schedule where you can put sadhana in as early as possible. I mean, some people, sometimes you have mothers have new children and they can't really attend sadhana according to an early schedule. They have to deal with the children. Sometimes the children get up, they have to send them to school, they have to prepare their lunch, get them ready. But still, there has to be a part of the day where you just focus on your sadhana, even amidst all of our responsibilities in the material world. I mean, Prabhupada used to say, if you go to bed 10, get up at 4. If you go to bed 12, get up at 4. If you go to bed 2, get up at 4. You might think, well, that's impossible. No, it's not. And then, in other words, the best time for sadhana is early morning. But even if it's not possible, still find some time within the early part of the day to do sadhana. But whatever you do, try to get it regulated.
Yes, Gurudev. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Prabhupada would eat lunch at a certain time every day. And if devotees were late for lunch, he would get quite upset. He said, if you don't eat on time, you can get sick, he says. The body is conditioned to receive food at different times, and then we might say the juices of the body start to manifest and hunger starts to come. And that's the time for eating. And if you stay regulated, it'll happen every day at the same time, because the body will attune itself to the regulation. The Prabhupada said, Prabhupada used to say, if you don't give me, my prasadam at the right time, at the time that, he said, then I could be subject to get sick. The Prabhupada knew also the health reasons for regulation also. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, every hour you sleep before midnight is worth 2 hours after midnight. Every hour you sleep before midnight is worth 2 hours after midnight. So if you go bed 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you're not going to get the same rest even with the same hours if you were to go to bed like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, like that. So the body's a machine. It works according to the arrangements of the material energy. So you need to regulate the body so you can regulate the mind, and you can regulate the mind and you can regulate your activities. And one of the causes of disease is irregulated life. In fact, that's the main cause. Turn to Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, verse number 10, 1:10. Okay. In this iron age of Kali, men almost have short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. Now go down the page. Right there. Don't, whoop, too far down. Just go to the first paragraph. First paragraph. In here, the second sentence, third sentence. Mark it where it says in Kali Yuga. Yeah. Okay, go down to the end of the paragraph. Okay, somebody read that.
In
And
Kali,
yeah, go on, Mataji.
in Kali Yuga, the duration of life is shortened not so much because of insufficient food, but because of irregular habits. By keeping regular habits and eating simple food, any man can maintain his health. Overeating, over sense gratification, over dependence on another's mercy, and artificial standards of living sap the very vitality of human energy. Therefore, the duration of life is shorter.
Yeah, that's the cause of sickness, disease, irregulation, and overdependence and overeating. It's all mentioned here. If you keep that phrase in mind, you'll understand why people are always getting sick. Keeping regular habits, eating simple food, one can maintain their health. Keeping regular habits, that's key. Okay.
Yes, Maharaj. So this all is the direct connection with the lust.
Yeah. And then when the senses are not regulated, then the mind will go wherever it wants to go.
Right.
And you might say, I'm a devotee. Well, good luck.
Yes, good. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Amritana Mataji. Manas Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, so in fact, Maharaj, for this point of regulation, even I am, although I've got this realization that because without regulating the day and the activities in the day, it's very difficult to get going with the sadhana and the bhakti marg, but I'm trying my best, Maharaj. Okay, so the question, Maharaj, that I have is, we were talking during today's session with respect to the point that we attain the body based on the desire that we have. But I'm sure explicitly no one would have the desire to get a body which is full of diseases or any body which is not good in shape. But still people get these kind of bodies. So is it more because they are not, they are in the mode of ignorance and probably they are not consciously making that choice, but somewhere subconscious? So how to understand that, Maharaj?
Yeah, they're attracted to a particular type of sense gratification, which manifests as a result. So the type of sense gratification that you're directed towards or attracted towards will manifest in a certain result. And then as that result continues in that way, you're formulating a particular body based on that result. Yeah. You want a spiritual body, act spiritually. You want a body of a demigod, then cultivate the mode of goodness. You want a very high energy, very high, what we say, achieving body, and then cultivate the mode of passion. And if you don't care about anything, then you're in the mode of ignorance.
Right. But for the ones who are not aware about it, how would they decide it? Is it like, again,
Whether you're aware or not, it works. My dear judge, I didn't know that was the law. I didn't know I was breaking the law. Sorry, you're supposed to know.
Mhm.
You can't say ignorance is not an excuse. A child will stick his hand in the fire. The fire will say, "Oh, the child doesn't know, so I won't burn the child."
Right. Sure, Maharaj. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Ignorance is, some people say ignorance is bliss, but not exactly.
Right. It is not at all. Understanding this and getting this awareness means ignorance is definitely not a bliss.
You have to live by using your intelligence and how to do everything in life. Well,
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
give you an example.
Hmm.
1 minute, because I'm in New York, so you can hear all the fires. Sri Devi, what is that verse? I think it's in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. How does he walk? How does he talk? Talks about the quality of a Vaishnava. There's one verse somewhere in the middle of the 2nd chapter, isn't it?
I think it is 239. Let me check.
Okay, Bhagavad Gita 239. It's in 2nd chapter, that's for sure. Let's see.
$254.
254, okay. Yeah. Open it up. Arjuna says, "Oh Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is merged in transcendence? How does he speak? What is his language? How does he sit? How does he walk? There are symptoms for each and every man in terms of a particular situation. Similarly, one who is in Krishna consciousness has his particular nature: talking, walking, thinking, feeling. A rich man has his symptoms by which he is known as a rich man. A diseased man has his symptoms by knowing which he is known as a disease. A learned man has his symptoms. So all of these things are manifest. How does a materialistic person walk? How does he think? How does he feel? How does he talk? So all of these things is, and the most important thing is how people speak, because that reveals their consciousness. Speeches reveals their consciousness. So life is about organizing everything in your life in such a way that you align yourself with spiritual consciousness. Everything. If you want to perfect spiritual life, then watch your speech, see how you do things. Do you take so long to do something that's really simple? You have to do everything. Every moment is an opportunity to come closer to Krishna or to go farther away from Krishna. Every second.
Right, Guru Maharaj.
That's why it's called Krishna consciousness. Consciousness means awareness of reality or of illusion, either one. Everything. So, yeah, perfect your life.
Sure, Maharaj.
It's like, how do we speak? Speak pleasingly for the benefits of others. When required, quote authorities to back up what you say. Avoid speech that offends. Avoid criticism. These are all part of developing proper consciousness, Krishna consciousness. What do you eat? You eat in the Bhagavad Gita in the 17th chapter. It mentions foods in the mode of goodness, foods in the mode of ignorance, foods in the mode of passion. What foods do you eat? Only foods in the mode of goodness can be offered to Krishna.
Right.
So everything, a devotee's life is not just one aspect. It's not just going to the temple and worship. It's everything. And there's a quality you can put in everything. It says, for instance, it says, what is that? What is that statement? Let me think. Speech done is true eloquence. What is that? What is that true eloquence again?
Truth spoken concisely is true eloquence. You
Yeah,
have told me that, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, truth spoken concisely is true eloquence. Learn how to speak too. Just like sometimes I'll ask a person a question and they won't even answer the question. They'll tell me the reasons what they tell me everything else and they never get to the question. They like to speak. So you say, I'd say, where are you going today? Well, I wanted to go here, but yesterday I went there, and when I went there yesterday, I thought of different things I could do today, and then therefore I got this other idea of where I can go. And then I met this person, and I said, "No, don't go there." So I just asked, "Where are you going today?" So you get a dictionary full of it's more like an encyclopedia answer, That's wasting energy, wasting time, and confusing speech. Learn how to respond to a question in the most short and easiest and most complete way. That's the art of speaking.
It's so difficult to achieve, although.
Yeah, because people like to speak for the sake of speaking.
Yeah.
And speech is really the characteristic of a person's consciousness, how they speak, what they say, and how they say it, not just what they say.
Right.
There's some people that don't say anything because they have nothing to say. So there's books by devotees about speaking. And it's just part of our development in Krishna consciousness too. It's mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. All of these things we can cultivate as part of our development in Krishna consciousness. That's why everything about Krishna consciousness is holistic. It includes everything. How do we relate to people? How do we relate to different people? How do we deal with challenges? And there's actually ideal ways to do everything. And that's also part of Krishna consciousness. But the essence is to direct your consciousness towards devotional life or devotional service. And the essence of that is to see everything in relationship to Krishna and not separate from Krishna.
Yo, Maharaj, thank you. Thanks a lot for this wonderful answer, Prabhu. Maharaj, thanks a lot. And in fact, when you said about this Krishna consciousness involves everything, I was just thinking about it. I at one point of time, I used to give certain sessions within my corporate environment on soft skills, life skills, and I used to think that there are so many things. Once I got into the Krishna consciousness, I realized it was nothing. It was just a drop of the understanding or the knowledge that we were thinking that is too much. There's so much beyond that I have been able to see after coming here. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, just the beginning.
Actually, it's just the beginning. Yes.
Yeah, it's a way of life.
Yes.
Completely, all aspects of life, personal, extended, social, political, economic, ecclesiastical, geographical, astronomical.
Yeah.
Everything's concluded in
True.
Krishna consciousness. Health.
Yes.
Thanks, Manas Prabhu. Sridevi Mataji?
Maharaj, you said just a few minutes ago that if you sleep at 10 o'clock, wake at 4. If you sleep at 12, wake at 4. If you sleep at 2, wake at 4. And you said Srila Prabhupada said this. I would like to read some more, whether this was in a conversation or a morning walk. So please may I know where that is. Second,
Well, what is he trying to say is get up at 4. Doesn't mean you have to, even if he says avoid staying up late. That's what he's saying. What do you do in the evening time unless you're out preaching? If you're out preaching, that's one thing. But otherwise, what are you doing? You just hang around in the evening wasting time. Go to bed.
That's true, Maharaj. When I was in the temple, it was very easy because New Vrindavan, the schedule is like that. You go to bed early, you wake up early. Every day I was there for Mangalarti, Japa, everything. But again, you come out of that atmosphere, late night programs by 11:30, you get to bed, and then it's very difficult to wake up early.
You can do it. I went to bed 12 o'clock last night. I got up at 4:30. I put my alarm at 4, but I somehow or other I wiggled a little slow. I mean, I don't plan to go to bed at 12, but because of situations, it happens.
Okay, Guru
I
Maharaj, by your
can't,
mercy.
I mean, just to use myself as an example, I've been trained never to get up late, no matter what time I go to bed. Because to me, if I get up at 6 o'clock, I think, oh my God, the whole day is destroyed. The whole day is wasted. I'm just chastising myself.
That is true because the whole day is ruined. It's just ruined because of the way things go after that point. Your chanting is so scattered and everything is in a disarray. It's really terrible. And when I do wake up early and chant all my rounds early, oh my God, the whole day is so different.
The message is don't stay up late. There's no need to.
But the preaching itself, the program itself begins at 7:30, then the class, then the kirtan, then this, then prasadam, and then talking after that with so many people who want to talk to you. And by the time we get home, it's like 10:30. Then we talk some more about the program. And by the time you go to bed, it's like 11:30.
I know I'm a victim of the same thing, but I still won't get up late because of that. I try to avoid it, try to end the program early enough where you don't have to stay out. But for those who are not preaching, they have they're at, or they're not going out, and there's no need. My health, and I think the health of many devotees, improved during the lockdown. I was going to bed 9:15, 9:30 every night during the lockdown.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we'll try for regulation.
Yeah.
It's easier in the Tamil atmosphere because everyone goes to sleep at a certain time, everyone wakes at a certain time.
Yeah.
Everything is, regulated.
Well, you learn from the temple experiences that when you take yourself out of that environment, then you have that training, that learning, and then you can try to apply those same standards when you're living outside. The temple environment is ideal, but at the same time, you can also learn from it that when you're not in it, this is what you should strive for.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, just becoming strict a little bit, I think that will help.
Yeah. I mean, if you're preaching, I mean, you have to do your best. There's always compromise, but what to do?
Thanks, Devi Mataji. Japti Mataji, you have a question?
I'm talking to the general body of devotees who don't have no reason to stay up late, who like to just hang around, do something. We get habituated to stay up late based on just the way we live. It's not necessary. I'm not saying you should, but if you want to improve the quality of your spiritual life, got to get up early. You got to wake early because the morning time is conducive to to sadhana, to spiritual practice. When the day starts, activity is more natural. So, I mean, the standard you could follow is finish your sadhana before you take breakfast. And don't take breakfast too late either. I'm just giving you some practical hints. I mean, everyone has to adjust according to their particular lifestyle. But these are the standards that which you can work towards. Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's a cliche. That's a saying that's been around for centuries.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thanks, Shridhar Mataji. Trapti Mataji, you have a question?
Yes. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to Srila Prabhupada and to all Vaishnavas. Mandanvat Pranam. Guru Maharaj, a wonderful class about taking the bodies, the spiritual bodies, and our desires. And on that, I'm sure you are aware of that. The disaster happened in India, in the city called Ahmedabad. That is where I come from. And the three of our family members are affected with losing the family members. Some of them watching the news, and today they found Bhagavad Gita in that wreckage and a Laddu Gopal. And the Bhagavad Gita is untouched, and they were open the Bhagavad Gita, and they were showing Prabhupada's pictures, and they are saying that the relatives that I was speaking to them, and obviously they know that I'm following Krishna consciousness, and they are saying that. Can you tell us then the people who carried this Bhagavad Gita, the Shastra with them, on the flight, they had a Laddu Gopal with them, and why Krishna didn't save them? So I was speechless. Obviously, my knowledge is very limited. I said few things, but I would like your guidance in that, and I can help them. I can tell them, explain to them. I would be very humble. Thank you.
Krishna is all good. Whatever he does is all good. Whatever he allows to happen is people act under the influence of the material energy, they're going to get a reaction, even if they're devotees. But Krishna protects generally. But sometimes, in certain cases, he allows them to leave their body so he can take them back to the spiritual world. You can't tell, Krishna's perfect. But how much they took shelter of Krishna, that's another thing. Did they take full shelter of Krishna, or did they forget Krishna? You can't forget Krishna. Who knows? There are so many dynamics to the question. But ultimately, people who don't have much faith in the process of devotional service will lose faith in God and say, why did God did this? Because they don't understand God. God is, whatever he does is perfect. Sometimes he allows the body to get destroyed so he can take that soul to a better destination. You can't say. You'd have to know the person, you have to know the circumstance, before you can even think about the possible answers. But the principle is that whatever God either allows to happen or he wants to happen, he has two wills. One he allows to happen, and the other one So, Prabhupada says, people used to go during wartime and pray to God, bring my family, bring my husband back, bring my son back, bring my brother back, and people died, and then they gave up God. God is not there to supply our orders, but he takes care of his devotee. Kantiya pratijani hi name bhakti pranashati. So whatever he allows is perfect.
And Guru Maharaj, there is only one survivor out of 242 people who were on board, including the staff and the pilot. And this one person who survived, he's from Leicester, and he said he spoke to the Prime Minister there, and he said that he doesn't know how he got pushed out. He said everybody else where they could have come out was wall of that building, but he said I don't know how I end up where I did, and I could unlock my seat belt and I was pushed out. It's like somebody pulled my hand and took me out.
Yeah, that's Krishna.
And he's come out with no scratches.
Nothing? He was completely...
He's got one slight burn on his... Yeah, he's got one little burn on his face, and that is all. Because of he pushed that door, or somebody pushed him out of the door, and when he ended up, he said all he can see is like all the bodies, all the pool of bodies, and he's in the middle of it. He don't know how he got out, and he just got one little burn on his cheek, and little blood speckles on his face is maybe because of all the other things around him, but he's got no bodily harm and anything at all. They kept him observation, but
He actually walked to the ambulance.
but no other.
Yeah, Rake Krishna More Ke, More Krishna Rake Ke. Karma, Krishna's hand, destiny, situations, very hard to understand. But ultimately, those who abide in Krishna, no matter what happens to them, it's always beneficial in the long run. We all have to lose our body at one point. That's guaranteed. So if Krishna if allows for a devotee to lose their body in a situation like this, it doesn't mean that he didn't protect them. I mean, we could discuss this point from all angles, and you can never really understand the reason why this person came out and that person didn't come out. I'll give you another example. May 14th, what was the year? May 14th, 2000. No, May 16th, 2014. The devotees in, where was it? In Mumbai, took a plane to go to, what was that place in the Himalayas?
Muktinath, Maharaj, Muktinath.
Muktinath, right, Muktinath. They hired a plane to go to Muktinath. And there was 14 devotees on the plane, plus there were other passengers also. Plane hit a high wind, and it was a small plane, and it threw the plane against a mountain, and it smashed and crashed. All the devotees died, and practically none of the non-devotees died. So did Krishna made a mistake somewhere? So death is not the end. For a devotee, death is the beginning of eternal life. You can't understand from material logic and place Krishna within that understanding how he works. Can't understand it. He works according to what is best. If you don't have that faith, you'll never be Krishna conscious.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for telling us about that. I had no knowledge of what you just said. Thank you. That was interesting.
Thanks, Sapti Mataji.
Hare
Shiji Sundari Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Thank you for the class. First of all, I'm so happy that I joined today because it will help me to regulate myself again back because things were a little on a roller coaster ride. But this helps. And coming back to this, Mataji, you spoke about the flight accident. My heart is a little bit painful today more because the school where I teach in Krishna Avanti, the 8-year-old girl and a 4-year-old, so 2 girls, they lost their mother 1 week back because of cancer. She had a cancer, and then father had gone to put the last ceremonies in India, and he was coming back, and father was in the flight. So both the girls have lost their parents. So there is so much compassion is overflowing in my heart for them. So how can what best can I do in this situation as a compassionate, to show
Yeah.
my compassion? How can I pray? What shall I pray?
You can
Please
also meet them, spend time with them, and give them your love, give them your concern, and help them in any way you can. That would be a nice way to help them go through what they have to go through. When you have to go through a crisis in life, you need people who really are caring and know how to be there for you. So yeah, that we can do that. Yeah, I was also shocked and very unhappy to hear that. And that's natural. Nobody likes that. Nobody thinks, we don't say, oh, it's their karma. We don't think like that. But when you get into the essence of the principles of material nature and how things work and what is Krishna's way of dealing with things, then you get into philosophy. But we don't philosophize someone's crisis. We just try to help them to go through it.
Thank you. And what can we pray for these souls who have suffered, or the families?
Yeah, we pray that Krishna shows their mercy upon them and gives them a good destination in their next life.
Yeah.
You remember, nobody dies. Death doesn't exist because the soul is never born, nor does it ever die, and the body is never alive. If you understand that, you understand there's no such thing as death.
Yeah.
Death is just a transformation of being from one place to another, that's all. There's no such thing as death. Death means the end of the body, but the body is never alive in the first place. It's the soul that gives life to the body. When the soul exits the body, that's death. When the soul comes into the body, that's the beginning of life. Life is spiritual. Matter has no life. The body is simply matter. But we're not insensitive to people's feelings and their emotions when they go through, crises on a material level either. We try to help them by giving them guidance in the spiritual understanding and Just like when you get sick, the worst thing is that people neglect you. But when you get sick, if someone's trying to help you, they offer you medicine, they're there for you. The sickness, the effects of the sickness is not so bad because of the love and care of others. So we do that. We're concerned about how people are going through the crisis in life by giving them, renewing their faith by giving them opportunities to understand deeper and taking care of them when they in the time of need. That's our service also. It's not material.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shri Sundari Mataji. Thank you. Any other questions, devotees? We have actually over 40 minutes. So, Maharaj, is it okay to close the call, or do you want to do the chanting?
So for me, it's okay, but maybe, all right, people can choose whether they want to stay on or not. I'll stay on for about 15, 20 minutes, and then I have to drop off. But if you want to begin the chanting, I'm ready.
Thank you, Maharaj. I'll share the screen.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Good morning, Hare Krishna. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna. How are you, Mark? See, I'm online chanting here. The mellow one is the self-described part. Thinking going, the beginning is, yeah. wild ones sometimes where but yeah, yeah. I'm going to go back to Smart and then I'm going to go to Bhakti Center. Have a couple of things to do there, and then I'll go up to what about? Yeah. But you know, it's like, you fill out the schedule, the schedule. Station. Yeah, he's definitely going to be there. Yeah, I think it's fine. I might probably go to that, come back to lunch and cook lunch. Yeah. March, Jai March also is coming, if that's okay. Lunch? Yeah. Sure, I'm not. Yeah, we'll arrange all of that. Like he also eats just kitchery and some other things. Sure. And I was thinking also to invite perhaps somebody in there and yeah. He was talking to them last night. Yeah, they stayed here before. Close connection. But we don't want to also, you may want to also there keep them moving forward. Well, Javed more definitely because, his needs are not being taken care of there, so. Yeah, fine. I'm going to try not people to see it. Yeah. Next year. I think everybody's a bit on the schedule because most of us want to go to the other program as well. I think it's by nature it's going to be a little. Yeah, I was thinking using today. Pumpkin Square Park. No walk, it's a walk. Let's have a good walk. In the other direction? No, it's just here is First Avenue and the Avenue you see. So if you go walk out of the door, take a left, you come on Avenue 8. Which door? This is for front door. This T. The one that faces. Not the one you came in. Yeah, the other one. You take a left. That's what we're thinking. The right heads you towards Hutchinson. Yes. You go the other way. Yeah, you go to on Avenue A. Okay. So this is First Avenue, Second Avenue, Third Avenue. You go left with A, B, C, D. So you go onto Avenue, which one? A. A. Yeah. Well, that's parallel. Mm-hmm. And you walk down 7 blocks and you'll walk straight into Dr. Square Park. So Avenue A, when you get there, which way do you go? That's the down. So yeah, you take a right. Take a left down the building, right on Avenue A. So yeah. Yeah, Avenue A stops there actually. So there's only one place to go. Oh, it's a T. Yeah. It's that direction. Same direction as Bhakti Center. But it's just 1 block over from First Avenue, basically. Very simple. No, you're just going 1 block over. Yeah, it's the same direction. Yeah, it's on 7th. It starts at I think 10th Street. It's just basically you walk down 4 or 5 blocks. Okay, I'm sure. Yeah, sounds. And then Thomas Square, just walk in and you can't just walk straight. And the stage, yeah. So it was a nice program. It's yeah, it's outdoor, teaching people coming in. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot to have kirtan. From what I think, I think I'll go. Just take some breakfast. I don't know. Probably won't take rest this morning. I'll just go on and keep doing you tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be okay. Well, I don't mind if it's an hour, but 45. So we can, and then, yeah, 20 minutes by now. Start at noon. Sure, it's 11. Yeah, they announced 11. It's actually, it's still something back here downstairs. No road she's gonna do this? Yeah, we see Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really? Well, it was nice. It was like, yeah, yeah, very good. This was he stopped the whole kids and opened up the door and told me to come out. You didn't see that? I left at around 9:30, I think. You left when I first came, man. Yeah, yeah, show that. Yeah, so we danced. Space. Nowadays he starts early, I believe. He doesn't do it. He is fine. Back. Getting a question. Okay. I'll see you. Yes, I think they expect me to champion from here, which I'm doing. Oh, that's all right. For you, I'll do whatever is required. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.